Nittany Lion Roar with Extreme Panda here, and today's video is going to be the top 10 Empires and Puzzles hacks to make your life a lot easier. And if you can think of any life hacks that I haven't talked about, feel free to add those in the comments below. So the first life hack is to use your 5 team slots. So when you click on your teams, you'll see that you have 5 team slots, and I'm using all of them currently. One thing I see people get in trouble for is they set their defense team up at team number 1, but then they use that for like their raids and for farming and stuff like that, and they don't use their other team slots. But then what happens is they go fight the Titan, they forget that their defense team button is clicked there, they forget to turn it back to their defense team, and then overnight they lose like 400 cups and wonder why, and it's because they left their Titan team as their defense team. So use all your teams. Mine is set up so that team number 1 is typically my raiding team. Team 2 is what I use to farm the map. Team 3 is my Titan team. Team 4 is just kind of a flex team I use for random stuff. And then Team 5 is my defense team. Life hack number 2. Lock your heroes and your troops. You're going to see on both the heroes in the upper left-hand corner where you can lock it, and your troops in the upper left-hand corner, you can lock your troops. So for the troops, you just click on the little question mark, and that's how you get the lock and unlock. So that when you go to your barracks, and you want to upgrade your troops, you're not accidentally going to feed the ones that you saved. So you can do that with both. And for the troops, you can do it whenever you're editing your team or from your barracks. Save your troops, save your heroes, don't accidentally feed them to other heroes and troops. Life hack number 3, farm lower levels. If you're ever wondering why you're always short on things like recruits and iron and lumber and stuff like that, it's probably because you're growing and you can beat these upper levels, so you've been farming the upper levels. But actually, you don't get as many resources per energy at these upper levels as you do back here at the beginning, where you're only spending 3 energy. So the levels I know a lot of people like to farm to maximize resources are 5, 8, which I don't typically use, but I know a lot of people use. 6, 8, which I like to use a lot because I am always in need of iron, and iron is more prevalent in Province 6. And 8, 7, which is where you're going to get most of your recruits. The loot there is not quite as good as 5, 8, and 6, 8, but you get a ton of recruits there. Now, at 6, 8, and 8, 7, I tend to do those when I'm also trying to fill my monster chest in the upper left-hand corner. But if I'm not trying to fill my monster chest, 12, 9 is also a place that I go. You get more experience there, and you get almost as much loot as you do at the lower levels. Now, life hack number 4. Skip the hero's wanted chest timer, especially if you're in platinum or diamond. A lot of people like to skip timers. Some people skip the monster chest timer. It's actually better to skip the hero's chest timer because if you're in platinum or diamond, you're almost twice as likely to get ascension materials that you need as in the monster chest. Now, that doesn't mean you're likely to get them, it just means twice as likely. So in like a month where maybe you got, 2 out of the monster chest, you're going to get like 4 out of the hero's chest. So it's not going to feel like a whole lot more, but it is going to double your chance to get ascension materials out of the hero's chest. Now, why would you skip timers anyway? Because sometimes those special colored chests show up, and it's not like there's going to necessarily be amazing loot in those. Sometimes people have complained about the loot in those too, but you're more likely to get really good ascension materials in those. So you want those colored chests to show up as much as possible. You can skip the monster chest, but you get less iron and less food in there too. It's only a couple of gems to skip these chests, so whenever you do open the chest, you tend to make that back anyway. It's almost free to use these gems on the wanted chests. Okay, life hack number 5. Max your food and iron storage. it actually leads you to getting more food and iron in the long run, believe it or not. A lot of experienced players have noticed that when you max your food and your iron storage, you tend to get more food and iron in your wanted chest from your Titans and the war and things like that. So go ahead and max those out if you can. Life hack number 6. Feed your heroes and troops 10 at a time of the same color. For your heroes, the reason you want to do that is because you're going to get 20% more out of doing it that way, meaning you're going to level your heroes 20% faster. And what this also means is that you're leveling 5 heroes at a time. Now, this life hack is for most people who play Empires and Puzzles, because most people don't have 30 maxed heroes, which you really need for wars. Most people have less than that, so you want to be doing 5 heroes at a time of the same color. If you do it of the same color, not only does it increase 20% faster, but it's also more likely you're going to max your heroes' specials that way. So it's more food efficient, you're more likely to max specials quicker, so do it that way. Now, some people have loaded benches. They have 30 maxed heroes. They don't need to do this. They don't need to worry about it. They can just, level. They can throw all their hero fodder into a hero at the same time. I want to show you the troops too. And this leads us to our next hack, actually, which is that you want to feed heroes and troops with 1 stars first, then 2 stars, etc., etc., etc. So for the heroes, you're going to notice, if I start a brand new hero like Kagan, and I give him 1 1-star troop at level 1, it gives him 180. And if I had a second one, it gives him 360. But if I just do it one at a time, if I just fed that Sharon right now and then came back, another 1-star hero wouldn't actually give it 180, it would be less. So it's more food efficient to just do it at 10 at a time. But you want to start with the 1-star heroes first, because you're going to see how much impact. So for the heroes, you're going to notice, if I start a brand new hero like Kagan, and I give him 1 1-star troop at level 1, it gives him 180. And if I had a second one, it gives him 360. But if I just do it one at a time, if I just fed that Sharon right now and then came back, another 1-star hero wouldn't actually give it 180, it would be less. So it's more food efficient to just do it at 10 at a time. But you want to start with the 1-star heroes first, because you're going to see how much impact that has. Whenever Kagan is a higher level, those 1-star heroes are not going to have that much of an impact. So then that's when you move on to the 2 stars, which are going to then have a bigger impact and be more food efficient. Then you move on to 3 stars, etc. Trainer heroes come after the regular heroes, etc., etc. The same is true here with your troops. When you're feeding your troops, you're going to see that, let's use the yellow as an example. I have a level 1 4-star mana troop here. And if I feed 10 1-star troops, it's almost 1 full level at level 1. But if I try to feed it to my level 11 4-star yellow, those same yellows barely make an impact. So you want to use the 1 stars early on, and you want to use the 2 stars later on, because later on, this is having much more of an impact. Again, overall, it's going to level at the same rate, even if I do it inverse, but the thing is, it's going to be more food efficient for you to do it that way. Life hack number 8, store recruits in training camps. You're going to see that I have 4 training camps here, and the way to do it, if you have a lot of heroes that you need to level, is to just make hero fodder. There's no point in having a training camp 20 if you already have a lot of heroes. You're going to enjoy this game so much more if you're maxing the heroes that you already have. So this setup that I have is 3 on training camp 11 and 1 flex, which also just happens to be on training camp 11 right now, but I flex it between training camp 2, which is uncommon, training camp 11, low cost, and training camp 19, which is extra fast. And I just go back and forth between those 3, and that maximizes the amount of fodder I'm able to make for the heroes I'm trying to max. Now, there are some people who do something very similar. They do 2 training camp 11, 1 flex, and 1 training camp 20. And the reason for that is because you can store a whole lot of recruits and food in training camp 20. I don't really like that because I'm not looking for more heroes. I'm looking to max the heroes I already have. So I don't choose that one, but some people do. These training camps are like an unlimited supply or unlimited storage of food and recruits. So you're going to see I have a ton in this training camp. And I can take out recruits and food whenever I need them. And I can put them in whenever I don't need them and save them for later. Now for people who are free to play, or they're not spending a whole lot of money on this game and they need heroes, the way to set this up is to do 1 on training camp 11, 1 flex, and 2 training camp 20s to give yourself the best opportunity to get a 5-star. And if you're really, really in need of 5-star heroes, then you do 1 flex training camp and 3 on training camp 20. You would only do that if you're really not trying to level any heroes. You're badly in need of better heroes. And you can switch between these 4 options as much as you need to, depending on what heroes you have and what level they are. Life hack number 9, focus on revenge raids. I see a lot of people clicking on this raid button and they go searching for an opponent and they just click reroll, 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 and spend a whole lot of food doing that. You can beat the people who beat you, and you're not spending food to find these people. So revenge these people who show up and have beaten you because it costs no food to do that. All right, that leads me to life hack number 10. Make yourself have good boards. What do I mean by that? Well, there's a way to play the boards that's going to make things better for you, or it's going to make things worse for you. And I hear a lot of people complain about bad boards, and I'm going to tell you what, it happens. This game is so dependent sometimes on the boards and randomness and luck, but there is a way to make it better for you, and that is to manipulate the board in a way that's going to give you the best chance at the tiles that you need. So I'm going to show you a revenge raid. I'm not guaranteeing I'm going to win or anything, but I'm going to try and manipulate the board in a way that's going to give me the best chance to win. So I'm going to tell you about some little tips and tricks along the way here. Since I have a Gravemaker tank, I definitely want 2 blue. And then I can either go green heavy to try and take out Magni, or I can go purple heavy to try and take out Bavisha. But I think based on my best heroes, I probably want 2 purples and 2 blues. So I'm going to do it this way. Always make sure your troops are set up. And attack. So how do we turn a bad board good? Well, you're going to notice here that I have a blue connection, which I can make right away, and that's what a lot of people would do. But that once I do that, I'm going to have like very few blue tiles left on the board. So what you want to actually do is kind of clear some bad tiles away before you start making those blue connections. So I'm going to make a red connection. And you see the blue ended up making a connection on its own anyway. I'm going to get hit by Gravemaker. But the way I just manipulated the board, by not connecting the blues first, I gave myself a couple of blue connections down the road. And now I'm set up pretty well. I can make a diamond. That's the other thing. Make diamonds no matter what color they are, because even if they're a bad color, you're going to be able to clear out bad tiles. Looking at this now here, I have a lot of purples right over Viviscia, which is a really, really good thing. If I move that red dragon bomb down, it's also going to set off the yellow, so I'm going to do that. This is going to create a nice cascade for me. And let's just kill off Viviscia. Since Sartana's about to go off, I don't care if I hit her with tiles right now, but generally you want to shoot tiles up the gap. If you have a gap, again, that's another way to kind of recover from bad boards. You can either clear out bad tiles, or you send good ones up and charge your heroes. I'm in a good position to take out Magni now and clear out some green tiles. And I'm telling you, this board is like no different from what I always get. I took a board that at the beginning was very mediocre and set it up in a way that it gave me a couple of blues that I needed. I made those connections, it got rid of the tank, and then I used the gap to my advantage. And now that was really lucky. You can actually shape the board into a way to make luck more likely to happen, increase your odds of making those combos and connections. Let's go ahead and kill Gregorian. And then Sartana. One more tip you didn't really see me do there, but when you have connections, when you have a couple of connections to choose between, you can, or you should, choose the connections at the top of the board, because what happens is the board moves up and it starts cascading combos down the board. So if you have a choice between a combo at the bottom of the board or a combo at the top of the board, choose the one at the top of the board. All right, and those are my top 10 Empires and Puzzles life hacks to make your life a lot easier. Add more in the comments below, and thank you for watching.